So far we have seen about providers and adding more commands using modules in the previous session. Now we are going to talk about WMI. Now first we will talk about the basics of WMI, and before we begin let me tell you WMI is not something which is introduced with PowerShell. It was already part of operating system. Even if you don't have PowerShell on your computer, it is there since 2000. It was introduced with the introduction of Windows Server 2000, and 2000 onwards every Windows operating system will have WMI. Earlier, instead of WMI, scripters and programmers were using COM DCOM, component object model, and distributed component object model. Those were two uh, technologies using which scripters or programmers were able to do the same job which currently WMI is doing, but WMI has made it better. And again, there is something new which is introduced which is better than WMI, that is CIM. We will discuss about how to explore WMI, what is the difference between WMI and CIM, how to get WMI objects and how to get CIM instances. Then we will talk about how to interpret the help documentation to understand the output of any WMI class. So let's first begin with the basics of WMI. As I said, WMI is not part of PowerShell. Using PowerShell, we are accessing WMI. WMI stands for Windows Management Instrumentation, which allows you to get details about the hardware and software configuration of your operating system. And if you closely look at it, what I am saying, when I say you can get information about hardware and software configuration, what remains there? Nothing remains. Everything is covered under software and hardware, which is related to computers. So when you are accessing WMI, you are actually making yourself capable of getting the details about the software components and hardware components of your local or remote computer, which will cover everything. Software components, under software components you will get information related to the applications and operating system. In hardware component you will get access to almost anything like CD-ROM drive, hard drive, motherboard, BIOS, CMOS, anything which is related to your computer's hardware. If you want to find the battery status of your computer, if it is a desktop there will not be any battery, but you can get the chassis information, you can get the motherboard information, you can get the processor information, RAM information, anything which is part of the hardware or the software component of your computer. So this is the technology using which you can find details about hardware and software components. Now before we begin with WMI, let me explain you the architecture of WMI. It is very simple. If you compare the architecture of WMI with the architecture of a database, it will be very easy for you to understand. So let me show you. On every Windows machine, whether it is a client OS or server OS, there is something called as WMI repository. It is a kind of database, but it is not actually a database, because database, the definition of database is different than the definition of a WMI repository, but both are used for storing the information, right? So WMI repository gives you the real-time information of the hardware and software component. What is the meaning of real-time information? If we talk about the difference between a database and a repository. This WMI repository will give you the real-time information. For example, currently if I look at my computer, the amount of disk space which I see here, 150 GB free of 195 GB, this is whatever and whatever which is written here. Here only 1 GB is consumed out of 367, 366 is available. Now whatever information you see here, this is the real-time information. This is not a historical data. It is not showing me the disk space details which were available 1 month ago. If you go and check the contents of this drive, it currently literally have this much amount of free space out of this is the actual space. This is not historical data, this is live data. So WMI gives you the current information, but database will give you the information which is stored in the database. That is the difference between a repository like WMI and a database. Database will have historical data which was stored at the time when information was fed into the database. But the only difference between database and WMI is WMI gives you real-time information. Now in database, on a database server, there are multiple databases that you can create. There can be multiple databases, right, on a database server. Similarly on WMI, these databases are called as namespaces. Now why do you create multiple databases? Because the information related to different sections or different types of information will be stored in different databases. For example, your company will have a HR database where the information about the employees will be stored. Your company will have some other database where the information about the client or the if you are a service provider company, you will have the information about the clients. If you are a financial company, you will have the information about, if you are a bank, you will have information about your clients. So depending on the purpose, you might create multiple databases. Similarly, depending on the purpose, there will be multiple namespaces. Like for example, anything related to hardware and software configuration will be stored under the namespace called root CIMV2, root/CIMV2. Anything or any information related to Active Directory will be stored under the corresponding namespace. Any information about related to .NET will be stored in a different database or namespace. So these namespaces are the places where under namespaces there will be classes. Like under database, what do we have? Tables, right? So under namespace you will have classes. For classes there will be properties. Like in table we have columns, right? What is a table made up of? It is made up of columns and rows. Similarly, WMI namespaces will have classes. Under classes there will be columns which are representing, or the properties which are representing columns. In a class there will be properties which are similar to the columns, and under columns what do we have? We have rows. And under properties, each property will have its value. Those values are like rows. Any questions so far?
You mean to say that WMI repository will have a different names?
Yes.
Like database will have multiple databases like that. There are multiple namespaces.
See, the number of namespaces, we are not controlling those namespaces. When you install some softwares or when you add remove Windows components, So operating system will automatically manage those namespaces, but there is a limited list of namespaces depending on what components are available on your operating system.
Let's suppose if I want to know the root of all the information. So those many namespaces will be corresponding to like coincides.
Okay, you don't need to worry about it, because whatever information you need related to operating system, hardware and software components, all the information is available under the default namespace, that is root backslash CIMV2. Hardware and software both. Yes, it's not the root which we talk in terms of Linux. This is something else. Let me show you. So the command is get hyphen wmy object hyphen namespace root. This is like a folder. Under that there will be subfolders. And here the class will be underscore underscore namespace. Now out of which we are currently concerned only with the name of the namespace. So we will pipe it to select name. That's it. These are the only namespaces which are available on this computer. Root, and it will be next to root, like root backslash subscription, root backslash default, root backslash CIMV2, like that. And under a particular namespace, if you want to find out what are the classes available, you can give the name of that namespace backslash CIMV2. As I said, all the hardware and software related information will be available under root CIMV2. These remaining namespace are very rarely used unless you are writing some very advanced code for operating system or some other components related to hardware or related to registry. Then only you should think about getting into these other namespaces, but you will not require to get into these namespaces. Hyphen list will give you the list of classes available under that namespace. And in order to take a look in a better way, you can pipe it to out hyphen grid view. Now these are all namespaces, sorry, these are all classes available under root backslash CIMV2 namespace. Now let's take a look at what other things are available here. First column talks about the name of the class. Second column talks about if there are any methods available for this class. I will discuss about methods and properties. Okay, now let me find, yeah, here security descriptor. This namespace, sorry, this class has lot of methods available. Similarly, let me sort it based on the name first. Yeah. Now whatever you are looking for will be available as a class. For example, if you want the details about the processor of this computer, so you can search for processor. So there are lot of results here, out of which the most obvious one is Win32 underscore processor and CIM underscore processor, because when you look at the name here, there are a lot of other things which are not concerned by us. We don't concern about pre-formatted data and whatever extra information is there. We are looking for processor. We will look for the class names which are starting with CIM underscore or Win32 underscore. I will explain the difference very soon. So here the most obvious results are CIM underscore processor and Win32 underscore processor. Let me give you one more example. Motherboard. So this is the class which can give you information about motherboard. Win32 underscore motherboard device. If you want details about operating system, so the most obvious guess is CIM underscore operating system or Win32 underscore operating system. Now if you look at the operating system, it has the methods like reboot, shutdown, Win32 reboot, Win32 shutdown. So how to use those methods we will discuss later. For now, so far we have seen how to find the classes available under a particular namespace and how to find a specific class that we want. For example, your requirement is you want the details about the CD drive if it is available on this computer. You can give CD, ROM, drive. So there are two classes available. Win32 underscore CD-ROM drive. Let's check if we have floppy disk. There is nothing as floppy disk. Let's check disk. There are a lot of classes available related to disk. Disk drive, diskette drive, disk partition. So depending on your requirement, you can choose the appropriate class. Okay, now let's see how to use these classes. For example, I want the details about my operating system. I can use get WMI object hyphen class. This time I just need to get the details about operating system. So I don't need to specify the namespace because root CIMV2 is the default namespace. I can directly give the class name using hyphen class Win32 underscore operating system. So here it is giving few default properties. If you want all the details, you can pipe it to select star or format list star. Now it is showing the complete details about the operating system. What is the computer name? What is the status? What is the name? How much is the physical memory of this operating system? What is the free physical memory, free physical paging file, and operating system caption. This will give you the name of the operating system. If you want to know whether it is a 64-bit or 32-bit, you can use this property, OS architecture. Now as a scripter or as a programmer, you need to know which class you have to choose for getting details about your operating system or any other component of your computer. So suppose I want computer name. What is the operating system name that I can get from caption? Then what else I want? I want OS architecture. And next thing that I want is, one second. Sorry for that. Okay, so next thing that we want to choose, it is up to you. Out of lot of properties which are available, you can choose anything that you want. Hmm. Okay, let's go with these three properties only. Later you can select. So this is giving me the real-time information about the operating system of this computer. Similarly, if you want to find the details from remote computers, you can give hyphen computer name and give the list of computers in a comma separated format. It will fetch these details from a local or remote computers and will show you the results. For each computer, it will show you what is the operating system version and the OS architecture. Now it is up to you how you want to use this command, how you want to explore further within your working environment. Any questions so far? Okay. Okay, let's see few more examples. How to get the drive space details from a local or multiple remote computer. First we will see how to get it for local computer, and you know how to do it for multiple remote computers. Get WMI object hyphen class. Local hard drive details will be given using Win32 underscore operating system. No, sorry, not operating system, logical disk. Now look at this. It is giving me the details about all logical drives which are available on this computer. But here drive type 3 talks about whether it is a local drive or it is a compact disk or it is, let me see if I can find a pen drive. If I connect a pen drive, it will show the drive type as something else. I don't think there is a pen drive around me. I have to search it. Okay, leave it. You can try this. When you connect a pen drive or if you have a CD-ROM drive on your computer, it will show the drive type as something else. How do you filter so that it will show you only the local hard drives? Either you can pipe it to where drive type is equal to 3 like this, or what you can do is you can apply a filter in the command itself using hyphen filter drive type is equal to 3, so that it will show you only the results from the local hard drive. It will not show you the network drives or CD-ROM drives or any pen drives which are connected. Now if I want only the drive ID, there is no shortcut. You need to search here. The first thing that we have seen, run this command, get wmi object hyphen namespace root backslash cimv2 hyphen list, pipe it to outgrid view. Then here you can search for it and you have to guess which of these classes might be able to help you. You just need to do that trial and error. Because we also have this uh, apart from logical disk, we also have cim underscore disk drive or win32 underscore disk drive. This will give you the details about the physical disk. It will not give you details about the drive letters CDE. There is a difference between physical hard drive and the partitions in the hard drive, right? So here we are talking about the partitions which are indicated by win32 underscore logical disk. But if you want to get details about the hard drive itself, I will show you that also. Before that, let me show you how to find the free space and size. What is that? Device ID. I have given drive ID. So suppose for remote computer you want these details. How to get these details for multiple remote computers, and suppose you want to find the percentage of free space. Instead of this you want percentage. How do you calculate the percentage? Total size divided by free space, right? Let's first try that. We will cast it as integer. Total size divided by no, I think out of this much. So out of 100, how much? Yeah,
Just into 100, it will give the percentage.
sorry, what?
Just put the into 100.
Okay, but I think into 100 is giving 100%. So we need to modify the formula. Okay, yeah, I got it. So free space multiplied by 100 divided by total space.
That's correct.
So once we leave school, we forget all maths. Yeah, 77. So how do you get these results in the output? So I want to add one more column using custom property expressions. Name is equal to percent free and expression is equal to, so integer dollar underscore dot free space multiplied by 100 and this will go inside another round bracket divided by dollar underscore dot size. Got it? So these are kind of frequent requirements or common requirements in system administration area to find how much is the free space available on a target server. So you can do this for either one or multiple servers by adding the server names. Any other examples that you want to see? Get hyphen wmi object hyphen class win32 underscore computer system. This will give you a lot of other details. Pipe it to format list star or select star. Like it will give you details about whether it is part of work group or domain. If it is part of domain, it will show you the domain name. Here it will also give you details about the RAM, total physical memory. What are the roles? It is a workstation role. It is when it is in work group, it will be having workstation and server both the roles, and it will give you details about the manufacturer, all the details you can check here. Computer model. So we are getting the real-time details. Now let's go back to the previous example where we got the amount of free space and size. So let me do one thing here on C drive under temp. Let me from downloads, let me just by size, let me create a copy of this file. Copy. This is 74 MB. If I paste it back, there will be one more file which will be created of the same size. That means the free space should be reduced by 74 MB or whatever is the equivalent amount of bytes. Now if you repeat this command, this is just to prove that it is not showing you the historical data. Now under C drive, if you look at the numbers here, we did it for C drive, right? Downloads, yeah. Okay, now if you look at the numbers, the free space is changed. Look at it, 162,561. Here it has become 162,477. That means it is not showing you historical data. If something has changed in the backend, it will reflect in your results immediately. So the results which you get by getWMI objects are real-time details. So when you are querying using getWMI object against the remote computer, it will give you the current status of that server. Got it? Any questions? Okay, so we have seen the basics of WMI, how to explore WMI using PowerShell. Let me show you one more way using which you can explore WMI through a graphical way. So there is a tool which is available from Microsoft called WMI Code Creator. This is a tool which is available for generating the code automatically for VBScript, C# and VB.NET. But we are not concerned about the code. We are going to use this tool just for exploring WMI structure. Whatever structure we have seen in that PPT and in the PowerShell, you will see a graphical representation of that structure in this tool. So all the namespaces are listed here: root CIMV2, root MDM, whatever you see here. These are all different namespaces available under WMI, and by default it will automatically select root CIMV2. Those namespaces are still loading. Okay. Now under root CIMV2, when you select that namespace, it will show you the list of classes which are available in this drop down. So these are all different classes which are available under root CIMV2. When you select one of these classes like Win32_desktop or desktop monitor, it will show you list of properties here, and the moment you select any property, it will generate the code for fetching that property using VBScript, C# or ASP.NET, depending on what language you have selected from the menu. So by default it will show you for Visual Basic scripting. So the moment you select this, now this is the code you can copy and paste in a VBScript file to get details about your desktop monitor, and you can also run this code from here. When you run it, it will show you all the details about Win32_desktop monitor. Or you can open the code in Notepad. It will create a file. You can save it as VBScript and you can run it. Or you can search the values, and values will be displayed here under this. So we are not concerned about this code and other things. We are just looking at the structure here in a graphical way. Here it will show you whatever WMI class is consist of methods. Now method, as you know, will allow you to do something with that object. For example, if you want to reset the battery, you select the battery class. It will show you what all you can do with the battery. You can reset the battery, you can set the power state of the battery, and when you select it, it will show you other input parameters which are required, and it will, when you select this, it will ask you for some input value like XYZ. I will give uint 6023 and okay. So it will generate the code like this. How to execute the method, it will show here. Now through PowerShell, how do you find the list of methods? So in PowerShell, when you select a WMI class, for example Win32_logical disk, pipe it to get member and use member type as methods. Like checking the hard disk, CHK DSK, resetting the hard disk, setting the power state. These are the methods which are available for a hard logical disk. How to invoke these methods, that we will see when we will discuss this topic, working with bunch of objects. Okay, let's talk about the difference between WMI and CIM. Now this is a bit of theory. WMI works on RPC protocol. Now when I run a command like get hyphen wmi object hyphen class win32 underscore BIOS and I give a computer name called XYZ which does not exist. Now see what error you get. RPC server unavailable. That means when you are giving a computer name, getWMI object tries to connect to the RPC service, remote procedure call. What is the meaning of remote procedure call? Or how does RPC protocol work? When computer A is trying to run a command on computer B, RPC protocol will send that command to computer B, run it on computer B, bring back the results on computer A. That is how RPC works in simple terms. But if the target server is not reachable or is not available, it will give you RPC server unavailable error. And this proves that WMI works on RPC protocol. The problem with RPC protocol is it uses a dynamic port. There is no dedicated port available or dedicated port assigned for RPC calls. Remote procedure calls uses dynamic ports, and due to this lot of companies will block this at firewall level. In lot of companies RPC protocol will be blocked at firewall level because of the security reasons. You cannot keep those random ports open, because if you keep it open, some other vulnerability can get into your network through those dynamic ports. That's why instead of RPC, nowadays there is a new technology called CIM. It is not yet new, but it has came after WMI as a replacement. Slowly it is replacing WMI. It is not yet completely replaced, but for every WMI class there is a corresponding CIM class available. The benefit of using CIM is it uses HTTP and HTTPS protocols which are not blocked on any firewalls, which are considered to be safe. HTTPS allows you to pass encrypted traffic, so security is there. It is faster because it uses HTTP. RPC is very slow because there are a lot of other things which depends on RPC. Are we all on the same page? Are you getting my point? So these are kind of interview questions. What is the difference between WMI and CIM? Why CIM is better than WMI? So these are all theory things that we should know. It's all about protocols. Okay, how we get a WMI object is using get WMI object. But how you get a CIM instance for the same thing? For anything that you see available under WMI, most of the things are currently available as CIM also. For example, BIOS. So there is a class called win32 underscore BIOS, which is from WMI namespace. Corresponding class for CIM is CIM underscore BIOS element. How do you get it? Get hyphen CIM instance, and here you can give the class name as CIM underscore BIOS element, MENT. Got it? Now try the same thing using get hyphen WMI object hyphen class win32 underscore BIOS. Do you see any difference? There is no difference because the backend hardware is same. So the information which will be provided will also be same. The only difference is when you run this, since it is local, it doesn't matter. But when you are running this against a remote computer, this one will use HTTP and HTTPS. This one will use RPC. This command will be slower than this command. Now imagine a situation where you are running this against 1000 servers, which is very common for me. Whenever we run a report, we run it against minimum 18,000 servers. So I always prefer using get CIM instance instead of using get WMI object. Got it? Any questions about WMI versus CIM?
When it was introduced?
When it was introduced, I don't remember exactly, to be frank, but I am teaching this since last, I think, 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I am teaching this since 2012. It might be introduced before 2012. You can Google for it. That is the answer for anything. Okay. So we have seen how to get WMI objects, get CIM instances. Now you remember I have told you when you run get hyphen WMI object hyphen class win32 underscore logical disk. Here drive type 3 means local hard drive. How do I know what is the meaning of 3? What is the meaning of 5? What is the meaning of something else? How do I find out? So what you can do is copy this name of the class, put it on your search engine here, followed by class. Name of the class followed by class will give you the first link from Microsoft Docs, which is a kind of replacement of MSDN. Here you will find the meaning of all those numbers. So what was that? Drive type. So here you can check what is the meaning of drive type. Okay, yeah, drive type. 3 means local hard drive, local disk. 2 means removable disk. 4 means network drive. 5 means compact disk. 6 means RAM disk. This is how you can interpret the numbers. And whenever you look at this of at any class in PowerShell, like if you look at Win32 underscore motherboard device, you will see something else. So here you have some other things like availability. What is the meaning of availability as 3? Or it is not showing the complete details here, it seems. You can pipe it to select star. Now it will show you few extra things. I don't know, it is not showing. You can check on your computers. If you see some suspicious numbers and you want to find the details about those numbers, go and check the class details. Instead of Win32 underscore logical disk, you can check what is the meaning of motherboard device. Here, what is the meaning of the availability numbers? 3 means running full power. 4 means warning, power off, offline, whatever. So lot of information that we look for as an administrator, that information can be provided using WMI. Okay, so in this topic we have talked about the basics of WMI. We have talked about the architecture, how to explore WMI using PowerShell commandlets, and the third party tool which is available from Microsoft. You can download it from Google. Don't go to any other site. From Google, just follow the Microsoft link, search for WMI code creator download as keywords, and download it only from Microsoft. It is freely available. You will get a zip file, and that zip file will have these three files. This is the source code, this is the end user license agreement, and this is the exe. Getting WMI objects, we have seen using get WMI object, getting CIM instances using get CIM instance, and how to refer to the help documentation. Let me stop the recording.